In relation to the team, can you just talk about the thinking behind naming practically an unchanged team with obviously just the one change in Henderson there? Did you give a lot of thought into your selection, not just of your 15 but of your 23?
Of course, selection's a big part of the week for us as coaches, obviously, and we all know the start of our season and how that's been, and we all know that the limited time that we've had together, so the cohesiveness of our group is absolutely everything at the weekend. There was pretty cohesive last week against Japan, so we roll on with a pretty similar side.
And what are the areas that you're looking for in terms of improvement for the game this coming weekend?
In all areas, Corky, as ever. We're coming up against a different beast. We know that. It's the challenge that we get excited about. We find out a lot about ourselves this weekend, and we embrace that and walk towards it.
And if I could just squeeze another question, your impressions of the New Zealand team and what you expect from them.
Well, I think it's full bore, isn't it? It's very experienced. It's a similar side that we came up against in the World Cup, certainly in the front five, etc. They've got threats all over the field, and that's the type of games that we want to play in. We want to test ourselves against the best, and we're coming up against a very strong starting 15 and a strong squad in New Zealand.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Andy. Why did you go in particular for Ian Henderson above Tig?
Well, we thought last week that Tig was better suited to the Japan game, and we feel at the start of this game that Ian's better suited to start this game. 100% Tig played really well last week. He'll come on in whatever position that is and finish the game really well for us.
In terms of style, with the 2023 World Cup coming into view, and you put a lot of focus, I suppose, on that. Do you stick with the style and approach that you took last weekend for Japan?
Well, like I keep on saying, it's making sure that we're in a position to see the opportunities that's in front of us. What we do know against the best team in the world, there'll be limited chances, so we've got to see those chances, be in position early to be able to execute those decisions that are in front of us. And the one thing that has to happen against the best team in the world, when you get your chances, you have to take them. There certainly won't be as many chances as last week, but we endeavour to play our game. They endeavour to play their game as well. So we've got to make sure that we play the game that's in front of us, and that's all about decision making.
Andy, having spoken as we did to Hugo Kiernan and to Johnny Sexton in the week, both saying just about how effectively Ireland hopefully now are transitioning from defence into attack, and the speed of ball and the different ways you can get onto the front foot. How crucial is that going to be to try and take the game to New Zealand where you can in that department?
Yeah, of course everyone wants to play quick, and the game for the last few years now has always been about transition, both sides of the ball. So it's the speed of thought, it's the speed of what we can get set, and as a unit across the field. And we're actually playing against the masters at that type of game, So we want to test ourselves against the best.
And Andy, you obviously as a player in rugby league and rugby union, and as an assistant coach and now a head coach, you've had so many battles, haven't you, with New Zealand over the years? What does this nation, this rivalry, this fixture mean to you over the years, culminating in this weekend?
Like it always has been, it's a privilege. We're unbelievably fortunate to get the opportunity to play them 4 times this year. At the end of this year, we go on a tour that's going to test us to the hilt, really. We'll learn a lot about ourselves this weekend and throughout the season, and we'll certainly learn a hell of a lot on the tour to New Zealand, because that will be the ultimate tour, really. So it's a privilege to play against the best. As I said before, we should embrace that, walk towards it, and keep pushing ourselves.
Very best of luck.
Thank you.
I just ask you as well about Jamison Gibson Park, obviously continuing at 9, and what were your reasons in terms of between him and Conor Murray for the starting spot?
Oh, we thought Jamison played really well and deserves another shot at starting. As I said last week, he's more comfortable in his own skin at this level now. His maturity and his leadership has gone through the roof at this type of level, and I thought he had an excellent game last week, so he gets the chance again.
And just there's lots of links, I suppose, between the squads, isn't there now, between Jamison Gibson Park, James Lowe, John Plumtree, Greg Feek. There's lots of links and maybe some information that the coaches who had been here might be aware of.
Well, I suppose that Fiki would be the last person that left our camp, and he was around it for a long time. He knows the players inside out. He knows me probably inside out as well. So I suppose they've got more information than we would have of them. But look, like we always say, the game takes its own course, and it's who can adjust the best on the day.
Hi Andy.
How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
It might be an obvious question given what you've already said and also the fact that New Zealand are top of the world rankings, but is this the biggest test of your team since you became head coach?
Oh look, we play this game this week, and I said before that it's a privilege to test yourself against the best. We'll learn a lot about ourselves through the week, and then we'll review the game, and like we always do. And I suppose the next week against Argentina will be another big challenge along the way. So look, it is what it is for our guys. I mean, he's what a time to be alive, he's to be an Irish rugby player, to get the opportunities to play in front of a full house against the best team in the world. This is where you want to be. So we've had a good week's training. We'll keep on preparing that way.
Thank you.
Andy, Daniel Vitality from Television New Zealand's One News.
Hi there.
I know you touched on it lightly, but what is the key to shutting down the All Blacks?
It's the key to every game, to try and dominate every game. I mean, there isn't much of a weakness, is there? The set piece is very strong. I think the defences are certainly improved. They're a lot more aggressive, a lot more up and in. You've seen a lot of intercepts from them. They can play a tight game that's very challenging within the forwards. So you've got to win the physical battle up front. They can play through you, they can play around you, and their attacking kicking game is there for all to see. So you can't lose any moment whatsoever. If you lose any moment against the Kiwis, you get burnt. And we're getting pretty good at making sure that we're as cohesive as we possibly can be at that sort of game, So when it all comes down to it, I suppose we need to be at our best together, at our best, and that's exactly where we want to be, at our best, challenging ourselves after a decent performance last week. Can we back it up again?
You shut them down well when you helped coach the Lions in 2017. Is it all about the rush defence?
Oh look, I mean the last time we played against them in the World Cup, they comfortably came out winners in the quarter final there. So look, we've played them so many times over the years. There's certain things that's worked and certain lessons that's been learned for the next games, etc. We've won games where we have been able to pressure them. They've won games when they've been physical through the middle against us. They've also won games where they played more of their own style in the quarter final, where they played an expansive type of game, and their attacking kicking game and territorial game was on top that week. So I suppose this game will have its own story.
We'll take the last one in this section.
And just one more, if I may, just jump in. Sorry.
So we'll just let Michael in there for one, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. Hi Andy. I'm not sure how it works with the bubbles and all that, or if you have team duties tomorrow night, but is there a plan to go to the RDS to see the women's match, or do you have a message of support for them ahead of their match with the USA?
Well, I certainly have a message of support. All the best from all the guys here. we'll be watching. As you know, protocols don't allow us to get outside that much and mix, but we wish them all the best against the USA.